Hello and welcome back to Sports for Dummies. In today's episode, we are previewing the Richmond Tigers for the 2024 AFL season. Johnny, you know the drill. Let's get into it.
What changes at Richmond? It really is the end of an era. Hardwick, Cochin, Rewalt, just to name a few. Massive changes from this side that won from 27 to 2020. They won 3 out of 4. It was one of the best sides I've seen in my lifetime. And to have them all leave, it is the end of an era, but that also means the start of a new beginning.
It's fabulous. It's fabulous. I'm an Essendon supporter. They finished 13th below us. 10 wins, 12 losses, 1 draw is very unfortunate.
And they lost, I think you were saying it was 4 of the last 5 games.
4 of the last 5. They were actually positioned all right. They were positioned for finals.
Richmond were funny. Like we've done sort of when we were talking about Geelong, I can see a lot of similarities here, but these players, these players have left. I actually had Richmond last year was going to be their last year, like their last hurrah. Like I actually had them top 4. Completely wrong. And then to lose 4 of their last 5, they were an ageing list. They did have some injuries. It will be excited to see what's in hold for them for 2024.
Well, they're still in 2024. They're still the 4th oldest team equally, with the 10th.
They didn't recruit. They didn't have any high draft picks. They have got that for the next year. But they're not at a rebuilding stage. But they're in that sort of
a bit of a lull period right now.
Yeah, they've got the experienced players. Like you look at some of those players on paper, it's like this side can compete. But they're getting older.
Let's get in. So 2023, bit weird for them though. Halfway through the season, they're losing Hardwick, their coach. He's just gone up and he's gone, "Hey guys, calling it."
Well,
what did he say? He's burnt out.
Well, he said he was burnt out, and we know there was the incident where he left his wife, who apparently was a big, massive, influence on a lot of these players. He said he was burnt out. Surely that deal was done to go to Gold Coast,
was retiring up
very
north.
quickly.
As I said off air, this is a complete retirement up north. Gold Coast, he's probably not going to be known up there because no one follows the football. It's all NRL based. Yeah. And I think he's probably like, you know what? I've had my, he's one of the best coaches of the last decade. He is the best coach of the last decade.
Yeah.
Why not? It surely would have been signed and done, and I find it ironic. But it was hard for them. I mean, for that team, and then Adam Uze stepping in. Yep. He's come through from where did he come from? Hawthorn?
He's from Hawthorn.
Yeah, so it's
the start of a new era at Richmond. And let's dive into it.
It's the end of an era for them now.
It's the end of it, but that means it's the beginning of something.
You're so positive. I don't like it. It's like everything is a strength and this is a weakness. No, it's the end of an era. Thank for that.
When we do talk about the fixture, I did buy my tickets for Richmond.
My best mates, majority of them are Richmond fans. This is great. This is great because every time at Dream Time, they just had this edge on us all the time.
Oh, mate, what do you think what round one's been like? Our whole hope. Richmond versus Carlton was horrible, and I know it happened for Richmond. We used to do it to them, but everyone's hopes were on that round 1 game, like the build-up, and whoever lost that game was generally shit for the rest of the year.
So true.
It was like you put all the passion in there, and do you know how many times we'd be like, Carlton are on the up, to play Richmond? And we just lose our confidence. So I understand from a supporter,
this is supporter hate. This ain't genuinely going through the review. So that being said, they did finish 13th last year, which was surprising, like we said, for the talent.
I didn't think they were going to drop that far.
No, me either. And then so they had the 10 wins, 12 losses, the 1 draw. So it wasn't like they played well. What was their points? Points for was like 18. Oh, I'll bring it up. I had it here. I think it was like 18.
They were a very low scoring side last year. Tom Lynch was out though. He only played 4 games. Now you have Rewalt going out as well. But let's
jump straight into the team.
Into the selection. So, I mean, what a positive from last year was Tyler Young.
Yep.
So we've just picked, our round one predicted team. So this is obviously subject
And
to
their best 22.
their best 22. What we think's going to be, their pick one. For round one. Tyler Young, Bolter. There's rumours that he's going to be forward. With Tom Lynch definitely being ruled out, he'll definitely start as a forward.
Yeah.
But you got Young, who is unearthed as a great one-on-one defender. Nick Floston's been a champion of the club. Grimes has been, he's just that. Well, he's not underrated at Richmond, but he's like that unsung hero, underrated player who plays taller than he is. He's quicker than he looks. He's got footy smarts. And then you got that half back line of Jaden Short and Daniel. I was going to call him Daniel Rioli, who is just absolute class of that half back line. He's got pace. He's got a great long penetrating kick. I would love to see, and I was talking to you on air about this because I reckon the half back line, with the way that the game's played with counter attacking, Dustin Martin. And I don't think he's going to do it at this stage of his career. I think he's 33, and he's too good up forward, as a one-on-one player. I would love to, and I don't think he wants to be accountable. I would love to see him off the half-back line. Can you imagine his field kicking?
So for one, I thought that he was probably going to join Hardwick and go up Gold Coast and just retire up there.
I thought one of Koch and Rewalt or Martin were going to follow. Play those mentorship roles, sort of like Hodge and Birchall have done, when they went from Hawthorn to Brisbane.
Would surprise me they didn't.
Correct.
To be honest,
Get another year, get a bit of sunshine.
Good money.
Correct.
Why not? Martin's still, 32, 33.
32,
I think
32.
he's still got that
He's
year
still
or two. He's up the sleeve. I think he would go up there. Why wouldn't you? Hardwick's, as we said, retiring up there. Consistency in weather. You don't have to worry about Melbourne.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to be burnt out. You wake up one day, it's pouring down. The next day, it's sunny as anything.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to lose, who do you want to play for? Who do you want to coach?
Gold Coast.
Let's just do it in the...
You're not even known.
I've achieved everything.
You barely have any supportership. It's great.
I've achieved everything. It doesn't matter win, lose or draw. I'm happy. It's good. It's sun shining. It's brilliant.
It's not like the Colts down here in Victoria for the Victorian teams. It's not like what these Richmond supporters out there going, it's definitely not the end of an era. It's the start. No, it's not. It's the end. We'll jump into the
negative. And then you got the second line with Jack Ross, Dow, Tim Taranto. What a year he had.
Yeah.
Best and fairest. He's an absolute contested bull from GWS. My only problem with Taranto is he butchers it. And in a game where efficiency is so important, and like I said, it's a game of counter-attack, he can hurt you by getting the ball too much, but geez, he's a contestant. He just finds the footy.
Yeah, he's a great player. Great addition last year for them from GWS. I think they did really well. They got him and Hopper.
Yep.
Then you go into the half-forward line. There you got your boy, Shai Bolton. He's going to be... You know what? If we're going to talk about the start of an era, he is that for them. He's going to be the poster boy and he'll take that team far.
He is. He can do everything. He can leap. He's quick. He's good one-on-one contested leap.
Settle down on all the highlights because he's going to be for the player to watch.
He's a superstar. They've added Jacob Kaczynski from Hawthorn.
Yep.
Who kicked 54 goals from 46 games. Tall young lad. Good overhead. That when Tom Lynch is back, it'll be good to have some support.
So he will stay in the forward, and Bolter, you would assume, would go down back as well, right?
They've been talking about Bolter, who's a backman, playing forward through the preseason.
Okay.
So with Lynch, who has been ruled out.
Well, Lynch and Rewalt, that's a big Lynch for the first round.
You're leaving. That's a lot of goals.
That's a
lot of goals. Load. And we're going to talk about Jack Rewalt's accomplishments. They're leaving a lot on the table. So getting Kaczynski in. So Bolter, for round one, I assume is going to be. I would say he's playing forward.
Yep.
You got Liam Baker, who's just an honest player. Dustin Martin's going to play. He's full pocket. He's going to play everywhere. He can play half forward. He's going to play for some. He's going to be in the. He's going to be in the guts. Would love to see him on the half back line, but I don't know if they're going to listen to me.
I think he's too. I said this off air. I think he's too not lazy. I think he's too old right now to take that position.
Does he want to be accountable at this time?
But he could be. I think he could do is be like that. He wouldn't have to be the running halfback, because you got Daniel Rioli.
Yeah.
He could just be the
quarterback.
The quarterback. Yeah. So I think he can.
I think it's a great route. He's the best. He's best kick at the club.
Yeah, and he knows how to create space.
100%. He's good one-on-one. He reads the game well. And then you got Morris Rioli in there. So they've lost a lot, Richmond.
But I think they need the right now. I'm looking at their forward line. They need the goals. So I think Dusty up forward. They need him there.
Well, I think he finished second in the goal kicking as well.
Yeah. So I think they're going to need him up forward just because Bolter's not going to be a like you can't rely on someone who normally plays a back position. But Tom Lynch coming in, I think he'll turn it on.
Third in their goal kicking. Sorry, guys.
I think he'll turn it on,
Yeah.
Tom Lynch. I think now that Rewalt's down, that's given him full reins on that forward line.
Tom Lynch has already arrived. Like when they failed in 2018, they went and got Tom Lynch as another support, and he was absolutely fantastic in 2019. It's just getting him on the park because he just didn't get enough games.
100% last year. So then
you got the ruckman, like Nankervis is now the sole captain. Congratulations to Toby Nankervis. Fantastic. He's not an A+ ruckman, but he was being a battler and he served him well in the premiership years.
Off air, we were saying Nankervis, for those Richmond supporters, did he play backline at all throughout his career? John seems to think he never did. I recall him playing backline for the start of his career, and then I think
he's a genuine ruckman. He's a genuine ruckman. He's a battler.
He was a backman.
He's a battler. And then you got Prestia, coming into the side. Jacob Hopper in that midfield. So there's talent there. I mean, Dion Prestia in their premiership years is an absolute little meatball, just a contested animal. And then he's
not really little, but meatball.
Are you sure?
Yeah, but I'm saying he's big.
Oh, yeah, mate. Exactly. Meatball. Short, thick.
Yeah, true. That's a meatball.
And then you got Gibkiss on McIntosh. Graham kicked 3 in 2017, and then Ralph Smith. So there's a bit of holes in that side.
Yeah.
And that's why we're going to go into the ins and outs, because this is why there's a lot of holes.
Well, this is let's talk. Go straight into the outs. You've lost.
Hang on.
Castagna. Jason Castagna.
Give me 2 seconds, guys. We had technical difficulties,
which was hilarious.
It wasn't hilarious.
I wish I had the recording footage right now because it was laughable.
It wasn't laughable.
John walks off air. I'm done. I was
going to quit the show.
I was
so annoyed. I'm just bringing it up now. Give me 2 seconds. So, all right, let's look at who they've added.
No, we'll go through the outs first.
Okay, have you
Let's
got?
go through the outs. Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool.
Mate. There's no technical difficulties here for me.
So the outs, you've got Bradkey, who's delisted. Jason Castagna, who was just a little terrier. He just gave that forward line.
Meatball.
He's a lot skinnier than that, but sure.
But
he just created energy and goal opportunities in that forward line.
Yep.
Newen's gone to North Melbourne. Soldo's gone to Port Adelaide. Robbie Tarrant, who was also at North Melbourne, is retired. Trent Cotchin and Jack Rewalt. You got Cotchin, who was the spiritual leader, and Jack Rewalt, who has been their best goal kicker for the last 15 years. Cotchin set the scene. That 2017 prelim final where he hit Dylan Shield as hard as he could. Probably get rubbed out today. But this guy is underrated not by Richmond supporters, but by anyone else.
I agree.
This guy sacrificed his game because he was their best player.
Yeah.
He saw himself as the best player. The moment he relinquished and knew that Dusty was the best player and became more of a junkyard. Oh, that's nice music to go with it. Richmond, he became this absolute junkyard player. Richmond, his leadership grew, and he's one of the best captains I've ever seen. I mean, Josh, have a look at this in terms of what he's achieved.
Coming from?
Technical difficulties have been horrible today. Yesterday we couldn't talk about names, so this is what he's achieved.
Is this Kochi?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're watching. Please watch Kochi's highlights right there. They're great.
3-time premiership captain. He was Richmond captain for 8 years. He's a Brownlow medalist. He's a 3-time best and fairest winner. He's an AFL Coaches Award. He made the All-Australian team in 2012. And he made the squad in 2018. What a career.
You know what I think I'm going to miss actually watching Richmond? Kochi to Rewalt. Out of the midfield to Rewalt on the lead. Rewalt kicking his big goal.
And they started
up in the crowd.
They started when Richmond were horrible.
Yeah.
They went through all the the bad times. But for a player who's, picked to be the best player, to sacrifice his game to allow Dusty to become who he needed to be. Everyone go watch the finals that Cochin's in. Dusty, we know, is the best player, but look at the standard that Cochin sets.
Yeah.
And you heard from preparation, his professionalism. He was smart with the footy. He was an absolute pleasure to watch. And then we've got Jack Riewoldt, who was a fan favourite. And there was a bit of pressure. Jack Riewoldt goes and follows Matthew Richardson, who's a Richmond icon. This is Jack Riewoldt's accolades. He played 347 games.
That's a big... Sorry to cut you short.
Yep.
Matthew Richardson, to try and step into the shoes.
Correct.
That is such a hard feat, and arguably, how would you rank him against Richo? That's a really good point, but
I think Richo kicked more goals. I think Richo was a bit more versatile.
But for the team, how do you think? I think
Richo played in... See, when Richo was playing, it's a good question. Richo was the sole player.
Yeah.
From a leadership standpoint, though, I would give it to Jack.
Yeah.
And Richmond supporters, correct. Let me know who you thought was better as a player and who you thought was a better leader.
Yeah.
Jack Riewoldt at the start, though, when he was winning Coleman's and leading the goal kicking, they weren't winning either. So they went from Richo to Riewoldt. Jack had a better side. Richo almost won a Brownlow in his last year, though, playing on the wing. And he's 6'5".
Yeah, see, but what I mean is, it's like you bring it back.
Who's achieved more?
You'd have to say...
Well, that's not close.
Yeah, what I'm saying is you can have a better team, and yes, he's the forward, so the team are delivering the ball, but he has to kick the goals.
That's true.
He still has to be...
Richo was kicking goals and they were finishing last.
Different players in different eras. You're right.
I would pick Richo as an individual player.
Yeah.
But I think Jack was a better leader. Love to hear what Richmond's thoughts are, but these are his accolades, Josh. He kicked 787 goals from 347 games. He's a 3-time premiership player, 3-time All-Australian, 3-time Coleman medalist. Absolute star.
Jumping Jack.
Absolute star. And this is his Richmond. He was the vice captain for Richmond. He was their leading goal kicker 12 times. And he was the best. He won two best and fairests.
That's insane.
And then he had 3 5th place finishings and 1 4th place. So he was constantly finishing in the top 5, leading the goal kicking. What an amazing career he had. That's who Richmond have lost.
Yeah.
That's who Richmond have lost.
It's not a small... they're not small players.
That's 2
premiership
icons.
Players.
And Hardwick.
Yeah. You've lost the coach of the decade, 2 premiership players, your best forward, and arguably your best midfielder.
Yep.
How is this the start of an era?
Because every ending has a beginning. It starts again. You're very negative. But this is what's not to like about Richmond.
I love where Richmond are at because I genuinely don't think
I can see the bias. We all know what their number one strength is, but we'll get to that. This is what's the concern. So they did because they traded draft picks out for when they picked up Hopper and Taranto. They haven't recruited, they had no higher draft picks here. So they picked up Hayes Brown as a Category B rookie, Jacob Kazitsky, who I'll talk about in a minute from Hawthorn, Fawcett pick 43, Lafauer as from the VFL, McAuliffe pick 40, and Naismith they picked up as a delisted free agent. The only one in there that is really, and we could be wrong, though pick 40s have turned out to be guns as well, Jacob Kaczynski's he's obviously the big thing that they've recruited.
Yeah.
Tall guy, good overheads, give Lynch support in that forward line. But, like, he's commanding. Like, he's a big size. Will he go to Will he go to another level, though?
Well,
Can he kick 30 plus?
yeah.
Can he go to this year, kick that 30 to 40 goals?
I mean, I wouldn't know. You don't hear
Like,
that. You haven't seen much
He's always looked like he's going to threaten. So I'd love to see how he goes at Richmond.
Well, it'd be good. It'd be interesting. Him and Tom Lynch, I think he'll learn a lot from Lynch.
Yeah.
See, he's a very not similar sort of player. I think he's a lot lighter.
Yep.
But I think, he's got that poise. He reminds me a bit of he's got that Gunston sort of style about him.
Oh, he's much bigger than Gunston.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He's bigger, but he's got that sort of body.
Yeah.
It's not massive.
I think I think they'd be hoping, a bit more presence. I mean, if he kicks as many goals as Gunston, of course. But he's bigger.
You can take a mark.
Yeah, he leads up well. He's always looked like he was threatening. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes.
Yeah.
But this is what will get us into the strengths and weaknesses. So the strengths,
Nothing's really standing out to me from that.
well, the strengths, I guess, they've still got firepower. In terms of
Whoa. Their strengths. Just chill your grill. Just 1 second. What is their strength? Their strength, Johnny, is nothing else other than this.
From Tigerland, a fighting fury, we're from Tigerland. In any weather you will see us with a grin, risking head and skin. If we're behind
This is their strength. We're from Tigerland. Don't tell me you don't know this song, Johnny.
I played for
Sing it, mate. We're in sounds.
I can't honestly sing it.
Oh, we're from Tiger.
Yellow and black.
Who the heck doesn't like that? That's their
It
strength.
is the best song in the world of sports.
Yeah.
It's the best in the world of sports.
You know what pisses me off about that? So Dad talks about it because Essendon, Richmond, complete rivals. Carlton, Richmond, complete rivals. Now, Dad used to play for Seaford as well.
I played a year.
And he literally said it's the best song ever.
It's the best song ever.
Regardless.
It is the best song
You
ever.
think about your blues song, it's
It's depressing.
just shoot me.
Richmond, you hear it and you don't want to hear it when you're going against them, but it's bloody catchy.
It's a beautiful song. You don't but you know what?
So
when
pretty
you're at the
much
ground-
what you're saying is Richmond is so fucked that was their strength.
as they say,
Look,
your strength
I
is
think-
your weakness, and your weakness is your strength.
I think Richmond's strength is they do have three. They've still got three big name stars: Bolton, Lynch, Martin. Throw Taranto in there. They've still got a lot of firepower, big names. In terms of weakness, though, they've just been gutted. They've just lost key cogs in that dynasty side, and I think their forward line, losing Rewalt, almost 800 goals. Lynch, is he going to be fit this year?
Yeah.
Big question marks on their forward line.
So I think their strength. I think a lot of the media say that having a new coach marks it as a new era. How's that going to go for them? I really don't think that's not a strength for them.
Yeah.
To be honest, they've lost Tarrant. Mm-hmm. They've lost three key players from three key zones: defense, midfield, and forward. Oh, I thought that was another music little error. I think it's going to be really hard for them to just bounce back and have an expectation from this year. I don't think it's a rebuild year. I don't think it's a huge success. It's a bit of a lull for Richmond right now. And I think that's sort of where they're going to sit by the end of the year. I think it's getting those younger players that are under 22, like the ones that we've gone through, just building them up, bringing them into the team, making sure, Nane Curvis on his individual captaincy, I'm sure he's going to do a great job. It's going to be a redefining year. I think Dusty, he's on his way out. Personally, I think Shai Bolton's going to start to take this over. I just don't see Dusty staying for another year or two. I think he'll be gone. Outside of that, their strengths, you'd have to say, their forward line's promising. They just don't have that. They've lost a lot of goals from it.
I think their forward line's their biggest weakness.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think that's their big thing. They've lost too much talent. If you could tell me Lynch was fully... Oh, okay, let's look at the goal kicking just to prove that. Jack Rewalt won the goal kicking last year. In his last season, he's gone and Tom Lynch ain't there.
So we forgot something, the injury list.
We didn't forget it. We just weren't up to it yet. We didn't forget it at all.
All right. Tell the viewers. So we have Dylan Grimes.
Yep.
With a calf. He's going to be testing for round 1. So he
fine.
should be fine. Tom Lynch foot. He'll be back early season. That's the estimated return. You got Mansell with an ankle to be confirmed. Mansell?
Yep.
I said Mansell. That's completely wrong. Prestia hamstring.
Pretty sure he was playing today, so I think he should be fine.
I think he's fine. But this was updated on the 26th of February.
Yep. Yeah, so Lynch is the one who wants to be
Who
playing.
was updating this list if he's playing next day?
It said TBC. They were just testing him.
Oh, yeah, true.
TBC literally means test. Lynch...
That means to be confirmed.
Lynch, exactly, to be confirmed. It's called a test. And Tom Lynch is being ruled out.
Yep, for early season.
Yep.
That's their injury list. So they're not too bad. It's not like you had a lengthy list there.
Key position.
So you reckon their weakness is their forward?
Their forward line. They've lost their two best goal kickers are gone. Is Kaczynski, and this is what, is Kaczynski going to pony up and kick 40 goals this year? Is Bolter, who's a backman, is he going to just tear it on this year? I just don't see it. Like, I've been positive about the Tigers, but I think their forward line has a lot to answer for. I think they've got a lot of star power.
They've got some
Bolton,
names. Martin,
Taranto,
Lynch,
Lynch.
if he can get fit. Taranto's pretty good. Prestia, if they can really all find some form. They've still got a very good squad of talent.
Again, but they are old as well.
They're older. They're a 20... What are they? I think they're the 4th oldest team in the AFL.
They're the 4th oldest team, and they won a premiership 3 years ago.
Yeah. What was I reading? 20. It was either 25.9 years of age or 24.9 years of age. So they're up there. So it's no real... It's going to be hard for them. I think it's going to be this year. But next year, I think they've got some good draft picks. Yep. So I think this year wasn't... It was very much a... going to be get through it sort of year for them, and then there's no real expectation from my end for them. Yeah. It was a bit weird.
Well, let's get to the players to watch. We're not at the pass, mate. We've got players to watch because there is one person here who I reckon can become one of the best players in the league.
Best players in the league?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shai Bolton is an absolute star. He kicked 31 last year. He averaged 20. He had his most disposals in a year, averaging 21 touches. Kicked 40 the year before when Dusty was out. I actually reckon he will get better when Dusty leaves because they do play a similar role, that forward midfield. This guy can jump. This guy's quick. He's good with the ball. He's great contestedly. He's good one-on-one. He even kicks goals the way that Dusty... Like, I've seen him do it against Carlton where they do the fend-off, run into open goals. He's got flair about him. I generally reckon the moment Dusty comes, this guy has the potential to be in that top 5 players in the league. He's got that much talent.
He's got a lot of talent, and not only that, he plays with this arrogance and confidence.
Correct.
That you don't... That Dusty has. And I think that's... Like you said, if you could move... Like, if one of... if Dusty could move to the halfback, it frees up Bolton to be an absolute jet and really command and own that forward line as a small forward. Look at I mean, perfect timing.
And he kicks big. He senses the moment.
Yeah.
I think because he went from 40 goals to 31 last year. He still finished second in the goal kicking. He also was getting more of the ball, so he's playing a little bit more in the midfield. So that could be it.
That was the reason.
However, a player like him wants to be the guy. He's never going to be the guy with Dusty there.
No,
Doesn't matter.
He can't be.
Even though I would say he's probably a better player than Dusty now. He's probably almost superseded him. Not career.
I was going to say.
I was never going to say his career. He's not going to say his career. But Dusty's always going to be big
Dusty's
dog.
been out. He's better now because Dusty's been in and out, and I think his head hasn't been in the game. I think for this year,
Well, Dusty's been injured and had the death of his dad.
what
Dusty
I'm
came
saying.
back, played 20 games last year, kicked 25 goals. But I feel like Bolton the year before was just a lot more damaging. You know, he got more of the football. I do understand that. He averaged about 5 more touches a game, which is good. So he's just got that potential. And then another player to watch is the great man. For all that, I'm not going to write him off. He is the best finals player of all time. And arguably, and this can be another video, where do those finals and how he performed stack up? Does he get mentioned in the Judd or Gary Ablett conversation? Because not only did he did it in the grand finals, winning 3 Norm Smith medals,
yeah.
but he also dominated each finals that he was in.
What are we playing AFL for, guys?
To win.
Playing to win. Most important thing is to come in clutch, be the best player, and win. Michael Jordan said it best. There's no I in team, but there's I in win. That has to be the ultimate truth. Now, it's a team sport.
Oh, it's a
but
big
to win,
team sport.
Wait, hold on. There's 44 players on every grand final.
Yeah.
It'd be 46.
He's been the best. He's been the best
won
player in
3
every
times.
grand.
You can look at that. You can't. Okay, once you do it and you go, okay, that's fantastic. No surprise there. Twice, well, shit. 3 times, nah. This guy has to be up there in.
And he did him in the other finals as well. He was in the best semi-final. But this is his career highlights. He could retire now. I actually thought he should have retired.
Gold Coast.
That's true. 3-time premiership player, 3-time Norm Smith medalist, Brownlow medal. 2017 is arguably the greatest single individual year ever in terms of an award thing. Coach's Player of the Year award. He's a 4-time All-Australian. 3 times Gary Ayres award. He's won 2 Best and Fairest. Lou Richards medal. Herald Sun Player of the Year. He was a 2-time under-22 team when he was young. He's just been dominating this whole time.
I'm surprised how many only 4 All-Australians.
4 Australians, yeah. It's
That's
hard to
surprising.
Get one. It's hard to get. It's a hard gig.
Hard jersey to keep. I guess it's like you got to solidify that spot, and there's a lot of players playing in it. So, and I guess but he comes in clutch. That's all that matters when you need it. You can always rely on Dusty to come through, and that's the one thing. He's a one-on-one bull. He knows how to create space. The push off that he always does. Just his footy smarts. Like he reminds me. DeGoey's nowhere near that level, but DeGoey's got that sort of but he's got that flair where he can turn on a game. But Dusty does it day in, day out, like clockwork.
Dion Prestia does not even have a million. Who'd you say?
I said DeGoey.
Oh yes, that's good. I thought you said I thought you said Prestia. I was like,
you're like
Prestia's offensive game compared. No, DeGoey, you're right.
No.
DeGoey, you're right.
Yeah,
DeGoey's showing massive signs. Well, you saw his goals against Brisbane.
100%.
Absolute correct.
He comes in clutch and he knows
can play that midfield forward.
Knows a big moment.
Role. Yep.
Knows when to kick a goal.
Has that flair, that arrogance.
Yeah. So what's leading all through this?
Yeah.
We've broken down the team. We've gone through the fact that they've lost pretty much all their not good players, but their experienced players that definitely helped them win games last year. Where are they going to finish? What's their pass mark?
I think they're going to finish between 12th and 16th.
Yeah, right. So almost bottom 4.
I think they're probably going to stay around the same.
Yep.
I think they're better than North Melbourne and West Coast. I think they're better than Fremantle.
I think they're comfortably better than those teams. But I think they're just
I
like
just
you
think
said,
they're going to sit around the same.
They're that mid-table. They're just not going to flirt with finals this year.
Yeah, I don't think it. I mean, they were flirting with finals like 4 or 5 weeks in. And then they
lost
just lost
the last 5.
I can't see them improving on this year. I think, like you said, it's sort of a dead year because they aren't rebuilding. They haven't added anything to the list really except for Kaczynski. They've had a lot come out. They're either going to stay at the same or they're going to slide, unfortunately.
It'll be interesting to see how Adam Uze does this year. I mean, they were in finals contention and then they really dropped off. So it's interesting to see. And obviously they would have had some stuff going on behind the scenes, obviously.
Correct.
I'm sure they would have known that Rewalt and Kochi were hanging up the boots, Tarrant, all these guys. That would have been a hard thing and kind of been distracting at the time.
Yep.
I think now it's just like focus on the year ahead. For me, the pass mark has to be, they have to be trying to be higher than 12th, but I just don't, from a prediction standpoint, I definitely think they're going to be 12. That 12 to 16 is where they're probably going to finish.
What would their
'Cause
pass
it's
mark
such
be? I
competition
mean,
at the moment.
internally, every side wants to play finals, but surely you could understand. I generally thinking staying around the same thing. Same thing.
If they drop further, then they've screwed up. Like, how would you? You're much better than North. You're much. North.
But look at
who
who they've lost, and they haven't added much.
No, they've added bugger all. Like Kozitsky or whatever his name is from Hawthorn. Like that's not an impressive.
I can't see them improving. I can either see them staying or dropping.
So it's the end of an era.
It's an end of an era. Yes, it is an end.
Yes, we got the answer. We finally got it.
And let's see who they've got. So they've got other ends. So they've got the Suns.
Jump into the fixture.
So they've got the Suns over in Metricon.
That's good. Hardwick, take the Richmond Football Club. We're running the NBA today, guys.
I don't like the AFL fixture as we know, but they've done this beautifully.
Yeah, they have.
They've done this. Then there's the annual round 1 versus Carlton.
I've just figured out what they've done with that. Sorry to cut you short. I reckon Dusty's going up there to sign his deal for next year.
Dusty was seen 3 days before, chilling on with Damien Hardwick. Then they have Carlton. Then they have Port Adelaide. Then they have Sydney. Then they have St Kilda. Most of those games at home. So they don't have a.
It's not a hard run.
It's not a hard. Well,
they could be
Carlton, Port Adelaide. That's 2 top 4 sides.
Yeah, that's
Sydney. It's a weird one because they're playing at home.
Sydney's a weird team at the moment. I'm excited for their review, but they're really a
couple of days.
Weird team. Anyway, guys, that wraps it up. Please, as always, drop your comments. Were we too brutal? Were we right? Where do you see them finishing this year? What's their pass mark? And any Richmond fans out there, curious, how does it feel? You've had such success. This year's going to be a bit of a weird one. We all don't know what's going to happen, but at the end of the day, I think, their list doesn't really guarantee them anything north of a 12th finish, given the competition in the AFL. So thank you so much for watching.
Tomorrow we'll be doing Port Adelaide. And sorry for any technical difficulties that were experienced throughout this show today.
Yeah, and we wanted to touch on one thing. We actually only run one take. So this is all. We never edit post. We actually edit whilst doing the show. So if there are any issues or any technical things, we are trying to fine tune it. We're going to be building a really good show. And this is almost like our practice and our research for the show. We want to know the teams back to front so that when we start this show and preview and review every single game, it's actually going to be really, really good to watch. So thank you so much for bearing with us. We do appreciate it. And any suggestions, comments, anyone else, if you know how to get snippets of the AFL, drop a comment in the thing below. We're going to be searching it up, but we need some help. So guys, subscribe, and
ring the fucking bell.
Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.